Well, hello, welcome to Unlock Your Bioenergy. My name is Gordon Tomazik, and today is Saturday, August 22nd, 2026. And the sun is not shining today. I'm looking outside. It's not very nice, but the sun is going to shine in here today in this live stream with 491 days of wearing the incredible X39. And today is 28 days to 50, meaning my 50th birthday. And yesterday was a doozy of a workout session with flipping the cards. And had I not been interrupted by the camera that disconnected and doing too many skips, I would have set another personal best in yesterday's session. And so today's workout will be a 10-minute high-intensity interval training session with some fitness stress testing after the fact. And then I will talk about mitochondria, which I will present a little tidbit of information and some of my own thoughts with what is part of that presentation. So, are you ready to do the 10-minute HIIT? And I'm going to set up here the heart rate monitor. It's the only sensor that I use, and because I think it's good to know how fast your heart rate recovers, and it's one of those metrics that has been around for a long time. So I'm also using the X49, so I'm going to place one here. And then I've got a second one. I've got another band here, which I will place a second X49. And I'm going to place it right there. And so for those who don't know what the X49 does, or the X39, I encourage you to visit unlockyourBioenergy.go.com, where you can find the descriptions there that will explain it to you. So, you see on the screen right there, that is the metronome that I'm going to use. And I'm going to set the tempo at, I will do 165. What the heck. So, basically this tempo is going to, what I'm going to do is set the 10-minute HIIT. So, on the screen here, you'll see I've got 30-second intervals. So, switching back and forth between red is just a regular pace, or you can stop if altogether if you want. Give yourself your body a chance to recover. And then when the numbers turn green at the top, 005 turns green, that means go. So back at it with 165. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Oh yes, that's the subject for today, mitochondria. And are you ready? So I'm going to set the... Okay. I'm going to use a beaded rope today for this session, and we'll see how it goes. I just realized I haven't had any water yet today. And speaking of water, if you listen closely, you can hear the sound of glory. As I'm making fresh 114 degree molecular bond angled water. All right, let's begin. So, before I forget, setting the metronome, 165. So 5, 4, 2, and 1. And I'll just change this here so. With the high intensity portion, I like to do high knees as well, so up. So, first 30 seconds in the books. Starts to elevate the heart rate. This was the pace that I skipped at yesterday. But not, I don't know if I did 30 seconds. I don't know how long it takes to get 100 skips. Oh, it's more than 30 seconds, actually. Because to get 100 skips in 30 seconds, I need to be skipping at 200 beats per minute. Oh, really? Those high knees are tough at that pace. It requires a lot of explosive power. And strong mitochondria to do it. done. Goodness. All right, last round, last 30 seconds. All right, upping the intensity there for the very last round. Feels good. I'm going to grab another cup of deuterium depleted water. And then I will stop the heart rate monitor to see what my average is at the end of the 2 minutes. And then I won't waste too much time waiting here to get on with it, especially with the fitness stress testing. And I might try the first round without any metronome. So I'm just going to count the number of skips. And with that, okay, what I will do is actually I'll set a quick timer up here. And so we're going to switch screens here. So 12:25 total time. Today's date stamp here, August 22nd, 2026. Starting time at 1:12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Maximum heart rate I hit for this session was 151. You can see that there. One thing I'm looking at here is how quickly each recovery happens. There's another one. So after every 30 seconds, there's another recovery. Not as pronounced there, but really strong there. Slower one here. And then last but not least, the final recovery. So seeing my average here at 129, if I were to figure that out, that's probably somewhere in here. So, you know, what's interesting to see is how that my heart rate recovery drops, especially in the first part of the 10 minutes, and then not as quick as in the second half. So part of me thinks about why that could be. Just the body's warmed up, and perhaps the energy that I had in the beginning part of the HIIT was stronger. So obviously probably why my heart rate dropped faster. So that being said, next is the fitness stress testing. So with that, what I'm going to do is set up a timer here for 66 seconds on the on screen, and I'm just going to see how many skips I can do in 66 seconds. So all the way to the end. And so I'm using a little bit of a different training technique, largely because to skip at 228, that is the tempo that I normally do. This is what I'm trying to get. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now that I've heard that tempo, so I'm going to try to match that tempo in my mind, but only skip to the clock. So without using the metronome for this first attempt. I just basically want to see if I can last for 66 seconds at that pace. Excuse me. So the idea is to see just how it feels different, and basically just to train myself to deal with that length of time as fast as pace as I can. So let's set up a timer here. So I'm just going to do it on the fly. I call this here 250 skips. In 66 seconds. I can do it in 67. countdown. I'm going to call this yellow, so I know it's... I'm going to do 10 seconds here. Okay, for the countdown. And then here, I'm going to call this green, means go. And this is for 66 seconds. So. All right, 250 skips in 66 seconds. And I will use the rope here. This is the one that I have been regularly using. So as you can see, it's got the kink in it right here. You can see, right? That rope. And let's see how this goes. I'm kind of curious now. I wanted to be able to do it without the metronome. So I'm going to just take the metronome itself. We're just going to start it and basically skip down to the 10 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then when the seconds are up, when the green goes, that's just going to start going as fast as I can. And I'll count to 250. Or I'll go 66 seconds. Keep going as long as I can for 66 seconds, and however many skips I get, that's what I get. All right. Ha! Tripped. Wow. It's psychologically hard. I don't know what tempo I was skipping at. Maybe it was faster. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was faster that I was skipping at. That's why I tapped out sooner. I don't know, but I'm gonna try it again. Just waiting for my body to kind of recover. My heart rate has, but I wanna feel it in the body. All right. I wonder if I were to play the metronome, in addition to timer on the screen. Is how it would feel. I'm gonna switch sides here. All right. Yeah, what the heck? I'm gonna try it. So that's the tempo of 228. And that's the tempo I need to skip at for 66 seconds to get 250 skips. So we'll see if I can do it. All right. Really? Try it again. Oh my goodness. It's hard. I'm wondering if I just wearing myself out too much with the 10-minute hit. Because it is on the tougher side, and given how it feels, I'm starting to think about that more. I'm gonna do one more attempt, but without the metronome. Finish that cup. Okay. All right, so I kind of have that tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the tempo, more or less, that I need to skip at. And I'm going to try it one more time. All right. I don't have it in me today. Huh. I have to be more careful with with the high intensity HIIT. To have the energy to do this HIIT, or not the HIIT, the fitness stress testing. So it's a takeaway from today for next week. Don't go so high on the tempo. So perhaps do 150 for the high intensity. Or even slower altogether, 142, 145, something like that. And then that way I preserve some energy for the fitness stress test, which is much harder. And that's I think what I'm going to do for next week. So to conclude today's fitness stress testing, before I talk about the today's subject, so you can see here, August 22nd, 2026, started time was 1:27 p.m. So just recorded for 13 minutes, average heart rate 108, maximum 152. Have a look to see. All right, so generally speaking, strong recoveries after each attempt. So, that's a good sign of longevity and how my body responds by way of volume of oxygen delivered, VO2. So, let's move on to the next topic, which I said is mitochondria. Before I do that, just want to check what the barometric pressure is today. So you see here 111 mbar, and there's August 24th. So that's for the next 72 hours. Currently we are here. So it's dropping. In the past 72 hours, let's say the past 7 days, where the barometric pressure has been. So you can see here it's now we're heading into a big drop. So by the end of day tomorrow, it's going to be at its lowest point over the past 7 days, and then back right up. So does this affect people and their health? You know, when you see the barometric pressure drop this low and then climb right back up over the span of maybe less than 36 hours, that's quite a drastic change. And a lot of people, they feel that change, and they get migraine headaches from that. So is there something you can do to prevent that? Yeah, there is. And it's called drinking the cleanest and most absorbable water, and just pinch of salt, so that way your body's absorbing the water that you're drinking. And when it's the cleanest and most absorbable version of it, that's when, blood, when it's 94% water, gets that hydrogen into the cells. And that's where the power really comes from when it comes to unlocking your bioenergy. And then when you combine that with other things, you can reap the benefits. And so with 28 days till my 50th birthday, I think I'm doing pretty good. So the topic, mitochondria. I'm going to share a post here that was presented on LinkedIn. The gentleman's name is Brent Haver, or Haver. Not sure the correct pronunciation. However, he writes, mitochondria, longevity, and what's actually real. Mitochondria are the engines of human life. They generate most of the ATP that powers our cells, and mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the hallmarks of aging. But the longevity world is full of claims that run far ahead of the human evidence. What has real support And where does it come from? Exercise, the strongest proven way to improve mitochondrial function and biogenesis. So, is there any coincidence that I'm doing this 6 days a week to unlock my bioenergy? But what Brent is missing is that mitochondria, aka DNA, exercise or resistance training exercise, work with cardio and any kind of activity with resistance is known to reset and regenerate about 78 known DNA genes. And he doesn't have that listed here. But when there are several thousand more DNA genes in the body, can they go untouched? The answer is yes. But you can touch them and get them to reset and regenerate. He says here also, after exercise, cold exposure activates brown fat and metabolic adaptation, promising but not proven to extend lifespan. Well, cold exposure is basically opening and closing the pores. It's no different than jumping into a hot tub like they do up here in Canada, and then when it's snowing outside, people get daring and they jump into the snow, close the pores, and then they jump back into the hot tub to open them up. So, does that trigger a response? Yeah. You can trigger a detox response, and that's why people get sick. Or they say they are sick after they go in a hot tub and then jump in the cold and then back in. Yeah, it's because of the drastic temperature change that triggers that detoxification inside the body. So if you have accumulated toxins, that from your food choices, then let's say if you drink beer, not good. So he says, and then he writes heat sauna. Oh, see, and coincidentally I already talked about it. Triggers heat shock proteins and adaptive cellular stress responses. Frequent sauna use has been associated with better cardiovascular outcomes and lower mortality. Is it? Well, look at my heart rate results. Back on May 28th, I hit 220, 221. And I'm still here. Hello. But that was triggered by me because I'm controlling my breathing rate. So if I'm going only up to a certain pace, then I can increase my heart rate to make it work harder to deliver the oxygen, even though I'm skipping slower and breathing slower. It's about exercising how strong the heart can go. So, when I'm pushing really strong pace and my heart rate is only at 145, what does that tell you? 145 for a maximum heart rate going like crazy? So is it because my blood quality is good and I'm able to sustain that? Is my VO2 numbers really good? I ask you that question. If you're a fitness professional and you're watching this, you probably say, he knows. I do. Fasting. Now, Brent writes, activates AMPK and autophagy, related recycling pathways. So that actually is another tool in the toolbox, if you want to call that you can use to detox the body, because it forces the body to reset and regenerate cells. However, if you're not replenishing cells very well, or with the same things that you did before you did the fast, well, then you're going to have to do the fast again, or you're going to reap the benefits from it. That's the question mark, right? So if you don't change what you're fueling your body with, well then, will a time come where you have to do the fast again? And are you any further ahead? That's the question mark. So, is there a reason why I drink the cleanest and most absorbable water? So that way I stay ahead of it every single time. And then Brent writes, sleep, essential for metabolic recovery and mitochondrial health. True. Last night I slept real good. Night before, not so much. And I think I know why. Largely because the food choice, was a little bit uh, probably not as good as what I had last night. And I'll show you a picture of what I ate last night. It's coming. NAD, essential for cellular energy production and mitochondrial function. The body makes NAD plus from vitamin B3 precursors and continually recycles it. NMN and NR are NAD plus precursors that can raise NAD plus levels in humans, although lifespan benefits remain unproven. So it's no secret that minerals are important for cellular energy production. Now, if you've watched me for any particular length of time, you'll know that I talk about your own perfect medicine. And what is in your own perfect medicine? Have you looked at it? Have you considered it? I'll tell you, I'm doing it. And I'm not afraid to express that either. Now, am I getting B3 and different amino acids and nitrogen and creatine from that? Gee, I wonder. And then when I'm activating stem cell here from the forefront, am I really rounding out the innate healing power by making sure? Because there's no secret that in order to live long, live well, and to live young, you have to do a combination of things. It's no secret. It has always been this way, and it will always be that way. Brent writes further, urolithin A, produced by certain gut bacteria from ellagitanins and ellagic acid, precursor compounds found in pomegranates, walnuts, raspberries, strawberries, and other foods. Well, when I think of strawberries, it's 90 some percent water. Because when you dehydrate a strawberry, what happens? It shrivels up into the smallest of things, right? So what's the biggest component of strawberry? Hydrogen, oxygen, right? And when you are giving your body hydrogen and oxygen, it's going to absorb from every source, would it not? That you give it? So am I giving the strongest source by way of the cleanest and most absorbable water? So what else is in strawberries that you're going to benefit? Well, it's the minerals that it's being extracted from the ground, right, to make it, or for it to grow, right? And so another different compounds such as urolithin A. But is it the largest component of the strawberry? I don't think so. So, and that's why it's so important to have the hydrogen, because hydrogen is fuel. It's explosive, right? So it can be electric. It could drive all kinds of good processes in the body. And if you are deficient in hydrogen, are you going to develop chronic conditions as a result of that? I ask the questions. I'm just thinking, out loud. And I think there's something to it. So next he writes spermidine, a naturally occurring polyamide found in foods including wheat germ, soybeans, mushrooms, peas, and whole grains. It is being studied for its relationship with autophagy and healthy aging, although human longevity evidence is still emerging. Okay. The key point, he writes, changing a biomarker is not the same as extending lifespan. I don't know about that. The bigger longevity story may be about supporting the three fundamental processes: energy, cleanup, rebuild. So to produce cellular energy, remove damaged mitochondria, recycle cellular junk, build new mitochondria. Yeah, I agree with that, because in a period of 120 days, your body is going to replace billions of cells. Billions. And how it goes about replacing those billions of cells will be dictated in how you are asking your body to reset and regenerate. Are you exercising enough? Are you eating enough? Are you putting the right amount of hydrogen and oxygen in your body? Are you getting the minerals from salt? Are you getting proper sodium chloride from salt? And when you mix it with the cleanest and most absorbable hydrogen, it's going to turn into hydrochloric acid that can burn holes in concrete, but it's in your stomach. And does that convert into stronger absorption of minerals and amino acids? Gee, I wonder. Gee. So the real frontier, Brent is finishing with it, maybe learning how to keep our cellular engines functioning, clean out the damaged ones, and continually build new ones. Well, that's what I'm doing right here on this channel. Continually doing what's necessary to bring all the pieces together and to reap the benefits of that. So here I'm going to show the picture. Zoom in on that. Oh, no, I didn't want that. So mitochondrial longevity and what's actually real. So basically regurgitating what I just what I read. Urolithin, he talked about that. Spermidin, a naturally occurring polyamide involved in cellular health. So the question is spermidin found in your own perfect medicine? If your body's releasing excess that it's not needing to use at that time, and then let's say you introduce it the next day, are you going to reap the benefits from that? Gee, I wonder. Right? And it's a perfect match for you. Not only is there testosterone, creatine, growth hormone, other hormones that your body is producing, can you reap the benefits? So, last night, after finishing the Feel It Friday workout, I went and I had this for dinner. So you can see here, chia seeds, tablespoon. That's 1 tablespoon worth. And with activating the chia seeds with 114 degree deuterium depleted water, and it doesn't take long for the chia seeds to absorb that water. In fact, it absorbs everything, all of the water. I can put more in it and it just keeps absorbing. And when I take the spoon and I tip it like this, it's like it flows so nicely. Now, the chia seeds, I consume those to make sure I'm building cells with the omega-3. And omega-3 is an important piece as part of the muscle building process, because if you have higher concentrations of omega-3 in your body, then the muscle becomes less of a source of energy. You want fat to burn, right? First, you want your body to break down the fats. So if you are, doing autophagy, well, chia seeds are your friend. But even more so is the cleanest and most absorbable water to activate those chia seeds and release the omega-3. Very important. And so then you see the rest of the plate here. I have 2 they're hard boiled, but I pressure cook the eggs. And you can see there's no gray, right? And I top them with, I like salt. Just sprinkle the salt. I like Redmond real salt. And see, you can see all the salt, each egg. And then there's a nice serving of salad here. Part of that salad is, from local farmer's market kind of thing. You can get good stuff. And then I've got beets, homemade beets. And then roasted potato, which are also pressure cooked and then roasted with some onions, and a little bit of olive oil. And then last but not least, steak. So, when I talk about making sure you power or you eat the three aminos, the three amigos, do you think that I'm getting glycine, histidine, and lysine from the food choice that I just showed you from here? Am I getting it? Gee, I wonder. So does that contribute to the formation of the GHK tripeptide? And when copper is floating around in the body, do you think those three aminos combining with copper turns into GHKCU? That tripeptide is super powerful. And it's remarkable how I feel. So yesterday's workout was tough. I went to bed and I woke up as if nothing happened yesterday. And I almost set a personal best had I not been interrupted by the camera and skipping 10 skips too many. I would have set another personal best. That would have been 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row. Faster. So is there any correlation? Are you seeing connection yet? So I'm going to just refresh the screen here and I'll show you the results from the log that I updated yesterday. Alright, just switching here. So, you can see here, this log. So yesterday, that's the 14th, that's last week, and then this is yesterday's result. So I compared the results of yesterday's session. So you can see here, in the first round, you can see there was a lot of jumping jacks to that, but then not in the second round. And then everything queens, all the push-ups were in the second round, as were the skipping, right? And so 24% more. And first round was fast, 5 minutes and 26 seconds, versus the second round was 8 minutes and 34 seconds. But total time was 16. So when I look back and compare that to here, you can see it's not doing what I want it to do. There we go. So there we go. August 7th was 15:59. That was a new personal best. And then August 14th was 15:53, 6 seconds faster. And yesterday I would have been 9 seconds faster had I not been interrupted by the camera. So if you were to watch the replay, you'll see here, and I made notes where I lost 5 seconds to fix the camera, plus another 4 seconds for doing too many skips for the Jack 4 in round 2. Thus, this technically could have been another personal best for me, but I didn't record it that way. So that was here. You'll see there's the Jack 4 in the second round. So this is just to demonstrate to you, what it takes to reap the benefits from, powering your DNA with the best. You got to have the food choices, you got to have the water, and then when you add light, that's why I'm saying, today is not sunny outside. It's cloudy. There's no infrared light that you're getting through the clouds. Plants don't grow very well in this kind of weather, and the body doesn't respond to it either. So can you change that up? Sure you can. Do you need to invest in the X39? Well, that's your decision. I'm just telling you that for me, with today being day number 491 of wearing it, there's no denying that it's doing something. And that something is unlocking my bioenergy. And when you're ready to unlock your bioenergy, power your DNA with the best. To experience the benefits, as you see on the screen, improving your mental clarity, experiencing rapid pain relief and reduced inflammation, experiencing the benefit of improved skin appearance. How about enhance your sports performance and you feel the benefit? Increasing your energy and vitality, experiencing faster recovery from exercise. These are important things. So, is there any metering device, anything that can measure how you feel in the morning? There's nothing that can measure it outside of what's here between your ears and your eyes. You know how it feels. And when you experience how that feels, it's hard to stop talking about it. So, you can pull the trigger. You can try it risk-free. So when you visit the LifeWave website, you'll see my first and last name along with the logo that you see on screen. So that way you are shopping with me as a registered brand partner. And if you would like to perhaps make an income, then you can also become a brand partner. And we can have a discussion about that if that's something that you wish to pursue. And when you visit unlockyourbioenergy.godaddysites.com, that's where you'll see the webpage and the buttons at the bottom of the screen or bottom of the page. And I talk about testimonials and things that people have experienced from around the world, including my testimonial and the changes that I have experienced along the way. And at my current age of, 49, soon to be 50, there's no denying that I'm experiencing the benefits. You can too. So when you're ready to pull the trigger, remember that Amazon and Walmart are not authorized distributors of the X39, the X49, or the glutathione activator, the Y-Age Renew. I wear that when I go to sleep. And here I'm taking off the X49. There's one. And the second one. So you don't have to use the adhesive to stick it onto your body. Like this one here. But obviously, if you want it to be on the strongest acupuncture point on the body, that is the back base of the neck, or underneath the belly button for the X39. So you can be discreet, right? So if that's something you are wanting to experiment with, that's the right word, you can. So that's it for today. I'm gonna take the day off tomorrow, being Sunday, and then I'll be back on Monday with Move It Monday and some more training and other topics to talk about. So if you like this episode, I would appreciate a thumbs up, put a comment, any feedback, I'd appreciate that. And you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. So on those different platforms. Perhaps I'm even on TikTok and Telegram, and also X. You can find me, G-Tmazic. So I'm not hard to find. And remember, live long and prosper, as William Shatner always says, because he's unlocking his bioenergy, and he's much older than I am. So does he know something that perhaps can do something for you? Perhaps. I think so. And I'm ahead of the game. So We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your day, sleep well, eat well, drink the cleanest and most absorbable water that you can. And to learn more about the water, visit Unlock Your Bioenergy. I don't make a penny telling you about it. Okay? I'll see you then. Bye for now.